Welcome back to the Quake Pro League. I'm 40 Lions, joined by the one and only ZSX. I hope you're all well caffeinated. I know that Dan just took a lot of pre-workout. It's going to be Spart1e versus COOLLERZ coming right up. Dan, how do you feel about it?
Hyped now. Started to kick in. You know, that beautiful juice flying through my veins, and I've got me some Spart1e as well to top it off.
It's always a party with Spart1e. We'll see if he could pop off. I mean, Spart1e is known to be a little streaky, but he's been playing really well. His rails have been insane at times. Parallel to Railson. We'll see. It's going to take a lot to take down the king, but I mean, a little shaky from COOLLERZ as of late.
I wouldn't say that per se. I think he's been slightly unlucky. Some of his series, all of his series, have been so close, and it's some of the best strategy we've seen from COOLLERZ for a while. I think his aim has been a little bit hit and miss. There was a period of time where he was really on point. Not as much, I'd say, in the last couple of series we've looked at him, but again, he's playing so incredibly smart, which makes him very scary. But on the flip side, as you said, Spart1e is just dominating with his aim now with more consistency, and COOLLERZ actually does struggle against big gamers.
We'll see. I mean, that's kind of the problem with having that playstyle, right? You rely on these crazy shots. They don't land. It's curtains, especially against someone like COOLLERZ that uses that strategy and positioning. But you pop off, you can do whatever you want. You can write your own ticket. So we'll see exactly which Spart1e shows up to said party. But it should be a fantastic set. Nonetheless, I think we're going to get into the pick bans whenever we can. But right off the bat, your gut feeling on this one, Dan?
My gut feeling is that COOLLERZ will take it. Now I'm seeing the picks and bans. Let's see how I feel about that.
Sorlag on Veil. We got Galena versus Sorlag on Veil. We got Ranger versus Visor on Molten. And then we're going to top it off with Nyx Eisen on Awoken.
Some fun picks, yeah, definitely. And COOLLERZ loves a Sorlag. Interesting, Spart1e banned Anarchy on Veil. I think he banned it for Molten, if I'm honest. I don't think you would ban it on Veil. But he counters then the Sorlag with the Galena, which is decent. Sorlag will obviously set the tempo. Galena has to then play around that. Be careful with the totem usage. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for Spart1e. But again, if he starts connecting with rails, that's when he's going to get into the game. If he doesn't, he starts missing, he's in a world of pain. So for me, it's going to be very execution-based on how Spart1e plays that map. Because if you miss a rail against Sorlag, he's then in your face and you're kind of dead. So simple as that. Molten, this is where we would normally see the Anarchy come out for COOLLERZ. So that's where I'm thinking the ban comes out, and then he's countered that with a Visor. It's not a pick we often see, but it still has its uses, and Molten is a map which it is particularly useful for. And then the Ranger, I like the Ranger. I think it has a lot of uses across any map, and Molten is another good one. And like we've seen for today, use of that orb is going to be crucial, but you're not going up against something like a Doom or a Sorlag, so have a bit more latitude to use it freely. And then Awoken, and Nyx coming out. I haven't seen a Nyx in a long time, 40. And then going up against Eisen, which is not the most unusual pick on Awoken, but it's again a COOLLERZ special, and there's some nice tricks you can do with the turret, whereas the Nyx, I think we normally see the rail heavy players play a Nyx on a map like Awoken. So again, for me, if he starts connecting with the rails, he can then really take the items away, and he's going to need the items. He can actually be on top of COOLLERZ. I think it's very even draft overall, though.
Yeah, as you said, rare to see the Nyx, and usually we see it on the Kilson, who is, again, another rail-heavy player. It's going to be great to control the middle of the map, making jumps from Rocket to the Armor Shard and the T-Bone, as you say. I'm looking forward to it. I think, like you said, it's kind of even, but for whatever reason, my gut says Spart1e 2-1. Sometimes it's just a feeling, Dan. I don't know. Let's take a look at what chat feels like. It's pretty even, it looks like, in the chat as well. Nope, jumping towards Spart1e 60-40. So kind of even, but yeah, they're leaning towards Spart1e too.
I'd get that feeling checked out.
I should see a doctor. There's a bunch of feelings I should get checked out, Dan, but now's not the time. Tell me what your prediction is.
You're casting with me, so that's understandable. I would go for COOLLERZ 2-1.
COOLLERZ 2-1. Right. So now you're just being contrary. That's fine. That's fine. But the butterflies in my stomach have no merit here, okay? It should be a good one as they even out even more towards COOLLERZ now. Everyone's buying the ZSX stock. Might end up 50-50 on this one. But
I heard, mover over here.
I heard the market bell go off, Dan. We're getting into it. We're getting into it. I hear it. So it should be a good one. This one is going to be Spart1e versus COOLLERZ. We didn't really discuss it, but they're both middle of the pack. COOLLERZ sitting in 4th place, Spart1e in 6th. But again, they want to climb their way to the top. If they could somehow make it to the #1 spot, they get a bye. Chances are probably not, but you never know. It starts one map at a time, and we are live right now. Spart1e versus COOLLER on Vale.
Yeah, I'm expecting COOLLER here to try and set the tempo, much like we saw earlier with Rafa, except now there's much less of a stack to go up against, and you don't have the utility of a scale bearer. So Spart1e's going to have to be wary of that aggression coming out from COOLLER. He's already shown his intention with a massive delay onto that heavy, so onto that mega. Sorry. So we know what the game plan here is. He wants to take an early combination of both major items and then just keep running at Spart1e. And Spart1e's going to relent. He's not going to go for this heavy. In fact, he's setting up for the mega, but he doesn't know 40. He doesn't know how big the delay is.
But he is firing all these rockets. He should be able to back up onto this one, but COOLLER with good rockets, and no! Who put that pole there?
That kind of summarizes COOLLER's stage so far. He has the massive big brain play. He sorts out the items, he tricks his opponent, and then he just absolutely fluffs the delivery of that plan, and he's already down to a 2-frag deficit.
Oh no, not like this. There's the holy hand grenade, if you will, as Spart1e tries to make his way up the ramp. LG on LG is going to be able to outstack him. COOLLER grabs the 50, but the rail prevails for Spart1e. Oh man, yeah, this has got to be super frustrating for COOLLER. And with the rail on the way out, Spart1e's hitting everything. Has a pocket totem as well, only 2 rockets, but COOLLER was already able to stack back up to a decent stack. So now Spart1e can totem the telly as well. Rains some Tri-Bolt down, has perfect positioning on this next one, and he just keeps getting this free damage. He's going to drop down trying to force COOLLER through, but he doesn't need to. The shotgun blast will take out that Dinosaur. So that's a very calculated play there from Spart1e, saying, I'm going to push you. You're either going to take damage or go through the telly, take the totem, and then I'll follow up anyway. And this has been the Spart1e show so far, Dan.
Yeah, but he's in a perfect position now. He needs to control this rocket area. He knows how badly COOLLER needs it. The spit is powerful, though. He comes in aggressively, but he can also then back off onto that heavy armor. He does tick it down quite a little bit, but missing the rail opens the door for Spart1e to push in. Very, very easy conversion frag.
Not even 230 in, up 5. Can't really get the totem economy going, but that's okay because he has the items. So still doing a great job at Spart1e. COOLLER having a rough one right now, trying to get something going. Missing with that rail, eating a little bit of Tri-Bolt. He's stuck in an odd position now. Has to make this weird telly play. Hits one rail, almost gets a rocket on the way out, and now Spart1e's getting hit from both sides. It's got to be so frustrating, but he hits that rail. What in the hell was that? COOLLER with a great response, though. Spart1e should be able to get to his totem to heal back up to 100, get him out of rail range, and oh look, a mega. But another great rail from COOLLER from down below, keeping him in it, keeping him lifted as he keeps chaining together these rails. COOLLER is heating up.
Yeah, but he needs to convert here because the heavy's up, but Spart1e's going to retreat, not even going to give COOLLER the chance. COOLLER, though, has worked himself into a great position with all the items to work with. Mega's up in 10 as well. Don't imagine Spart1e's going to be sticking around to do any damage there. Just hoping that this light spawns in the back room relatively quickly before COOLLER makes an aggressive push into the area.
Ooh, and Spart1e might get caught out here as COOLLER, yeah. Sees those cheeks, good rail. Does have a 50 shard to work with. Spart1e trying to make his way out. Tri-Bolt, not enough. COOLLER's going to push in. He wants this frag real bad. Spart1e's going to use a jump pad. There's the cutoff with the rocket jump. Spart1e doing decent damage, but COOLLER finally grabbing that frag and also gets the heavy on his way towards the mega. Can he do it? The LG for Spart1e's so strong. Wow, the spit into the machine gun, and now COOLLER in a bad way. There's the push from Spart1e. Takes him right back out.
COOLLER didn't have any weaponry either, so he was not in a good situation. And Spart1e is catching him time and time again and is doing so much damage. COOLLER has relented here, but it's not going to be enough. There's a bit of time before the heavy, and Spart1e knows it as well, so he's not going to stick around. He knows what COOLLER's going to do. He's going to try and go in fast, steal that away. So Spart1e spends this time regrouping, restacking, and repositioning. COOLLER's already there, though. The lightning gun comes out, is going mano a mano, and COOLLER comes very much on top with the heavy stack. So back and forth at this point in time.
Oh my God. Oh, the jump rocket. That rocket sent him flying through the telly, and Spart1e just keeps getting these frags back almost immediately.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's a 2-to-1 trade. Every time Cooler gets one, Spart1e feels like he's getting 2 for each of these frags. Cooler needs to stem the tide, but there's the overstack. He's managed to get it up. All the totems are in fairly vulnerable positions, so it should be cleared up in due course.
Oh, so Spart1e, there's one. That's one way to do it, is face check him. Spart1e's just been so dominant as we're halfway through this one, 8-1. No signs of stopping and just hitting him with the dunks. One lone try ball going through the telly. The rocket won't land on the second pass. Neither will the rail, but there's a little bit of insurance with Totem trying to tickle Cooler, and he'll get it as the rail's not landing for Cooler. Unfortunate there. This has got to be so frustrating right now for Cooler.
It is indeed, but the bigger problem is he's just not getting items. Spart1e is working these items so well, and
no. I think he just literally stepped on his head to deny him that rocket jump up. He just put his foot on Sorlag's head and said, no. 10-1, there's the rocket jump up with the spit. He really wants this mega, but he's so early and he gets melted. Spart1e can take his time casually to grab the 25, put down another totem, and then claim the mega. And this is spiraling out of control if it hasn't already.
And I'm enjoying the weapon choice from Spart1e. He's really favoring playing around that lightning gun rather than the rail. Obviously we know him for the rail, but it's been used relatively sporadically. Only 11 total in this duel so far. It's been all about the lightning gun, getting into these mid-range engagements, and again the shotgun switch is there to finish the frag.
Well, it looks like he's swatting a fly. It's that simple, Dan. 12-1, has the totem to negate the spit. Whoa, okay, the rockets are on point from Cooler on that one. 12-2 with 7 minutes left. If you believe in the king, it's going to happen. 10 frags, 3 minutes.
He's still got the overstacker. It doesn't feel like it's been a calculated choice to try and do this, but it's worked out so damn well for him.
With those doors closed at the worst time, Spart1e somehow gets the retaliation rail, and again, as the overstack, as you said, and that is a big rocket. Spart1e was making his way out of the Thunderdome there. Cooler with a good stack, needs to get some frags, and that's a good way to do it. Drops down, catches Spart1e out, just needs to finish it. Finally.
Rails like that, whilst being style points, is so crucial for the next engagements because it just offsets the pressure Cooler could put on. Like Spart1e nearly got a frag there, all down to that rail. So it's been the clutch shots from Spart1e that have been incredibly crucial all game long. Whilst there's 2 minutes left, it's going to be the longest road Cooler would have to climb to get back into it.
You just have to believe. Misses with the rail. Cooler really wants this heavy. He's going to make a second pass at it. Maybe a third or a fourth. Now he sees it. Spart1e has the height advantage. He's going to drop down. He will eat a rail. Will he eat another one? He will, and that's actually setting him to the ledge. Can he hit it? Cooler getting caught off guard. Can't land the rail, and Spart1e is like, this is fine. I'm okay with being on this ledge.
He knows he can push. He's got the overstack, and he knows he can fall back onto the mega. Nice, smart play from Spart1e, and that will finish the game. There is absolutely no chance Cooler can get back into this one. And early lead, commanding lead from Spart1e, in all honesty.
Ooh, okay, the trade, but like you said, too little too late. 9 frags down is brutal with a minute 15 left. Spart1e putting on a show. And it really comes down to those first couple fights where Cooler was doing great damage, but Spart1e was just limping away with 15, 20 HP and able to stack back up off the items right afterwards.
Yeah, and that split has played out the entire game. It gives Spart1e a lot of control. It's unusual to see Cooler with so few items to his name, particularly when he has Sorlag under his belt, where you can bully your way in, you can force the items, use the speed, use the air control to get in, but Spart1e has prevented that every single term. It was clinical.
I think the highlight of the match is everybody knows there's a ledge on Vale now. What a rail from Spart1e. Jumping across to make sure that dinosaur goes extinct. 20 seconds left, and I think Cooler taking a breather here as he's like, deep breath here. Got a reset before map number 2. Big performance from Spart1e on Veil.
We are switching server. It's not even a question. It's not even a choice. This is happening. I like it. That is, that's leadership.
Indeed. Taking command is, well, what Spart1e did on the first map. Huge victory for him in map number 1 as we're going to make our way slowly on to map number 2. I mean, how do you even dissect that, Dan? We talked about the split. We talked about, you know, item control, but is there anything else that Cooler really needs to do? Like, if he shores those up, is it an easy victory for Cooler?
No, definitely not. The way Spart1e's playing, it's not just incredible aim. It's the right choices, strategy, timing. Again, the weapon choice was a huge one for us. Like we said, he needs to hit his shots, but he took a large part of that out of the equation by focusing on the mid-range, focusing on the LG. So everything he did in that game was right, and it was really smart.
I think that was where the denial came up. Cooler tried to rocket jump up. Nope. This is my heavy. Took that right on top of the churro, and yeah, 16-5. We'll see if Cooler can bounce back. That's a rough score line there.
It was. He got massively out-damaged, out-stacked. I mean, Spart1e had not just the items there, but Spart1e had the overstack for, again, a long period of that game. Everything worked for him in terms of the strategy and execution.
So big showing. I already forgot what the market said from the ZSX management firm, but the predictions are coming in for the second map. Molten Falls is where we're off to, and it looks like the crowd has spoken. They believe in Spart1e. They believe it's going to be a party on map number 2, Dan.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
you have to make your assessment.
You know,
more rail.
I feel like the only solution is more rail here, as we're going to get a Ranger versus a Visor. Vision can only go so far. I feel like Spart1e's just going to start popping off with rails, using the Dire Orb to close the gap and end with shotgun, maybe rockets, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe the server was a thing too. We saw kind of the in-game, we are changing servers, as you said. It's not a question. It's a statement, so we'll see.
Yeah, the alpha statement. I believe they are moving to the EU West, so see how that affects Cooler. But again, I don't think a huge amount of, obviously, the issues there were down to server, if that was a problem at all. It was just Spart1e outplayed him. He was hitting a hell of a lot more. So if you can continue that momentum, again, you have to make your assessment of what we saw in the last game. One would have to say, I would favor Spart1e going into this. Now we've got the champion picks that actually, in some ways, favor Spart1e. He gives him a lot more movability, whereas Cooler is kind of stuck on that visor with just a piercing sight to work with, which is powerful, but that's all he has in his repertoire. Where Spart1e has the passive and the rocket jump, he has the orb, which is lots of flexibility and a great map to use both of those skills. So things are looking bright for the Swede.
Completely agree. It's going to be a big one if you can take this 2-0 and take the series. I'm sure Cooler has a little something to say about that. We'll see if he can make the statement on Molten Falls. This is going to be map number 2 between Spart1e and Cooler here on week 10 of the Pro League, and we are live. Starting off with Spart1e's POV, is going to start off with the Mega straight into the armor and rockets.
Spart1e orbing early across just to get that rail. Cooler's actually only got a rail to work with, hasn't used the piercing sight yet either, so that has that at his disposal. Spart1e, though, has all the weaponry now to work with.
Trying to land some damage with the rail. There's a decent rocket around the corner here. Ooh, bigger rocket. There's the Dire Orb to close the gap and the rocket to finish it. Cooler just didn't hit the defensive rockets he needed, and now the Mega Armor Shard again. The cycle continues. Spart1e makes the jump over to the rail again, pretty much exactly like after the first cycle, catching Cooler out of the heavy right now. Good rocket damage. Ooh, the follow-up just couldn't connect. That could have bounced Cooler right off the map. Rails Cooler not landing.
Yeah, trying to force the issue, but as you say, just not landing, and Spart1e gets away scot-free. Prime position for the Mega. Won't be able to do anything over by the Heavy. Cooler actually does hit that rail, which is a great shot, but Spart1e also now has information that the Heavy will be delayed. He hears it through the wall just there as well. So it's actually not too bad, but has to be wary now not to take damage before this next Mega, because Cooler will want to put the pressure on.
Spart1e hearing COOLLER has position information now, and he just has to play really slow. Gonna drop down and try and do some damage. Get a quick rail, but somehow COOLLER tags him. Ooh, that play was beautiful.
Nice.
Ooh, another rail.
Ooh, that was really nice. Preemptive orb into the rail just to get some last tick of damage. Worked out perfectly for Spart1e as he's beginning to recoup and regroup. And he's also now potentially won himself the Mega just by hitting back-to-back rails.
Oh man, it's happening. Spart1e is heating up. COOLLER very weak now, being forced onto the rail side of the map. Almost gets clipped with that rail. Has to be careful. The Tri-Bolt actually getting him out of there. Pushing him down, giving COOLLER a second life as Spart1e still has the lead. 1-0, 2:30 in, and now he has the stack. He has the timing on the Mega, so now it's just a matter of how do I want to approach this. The drop down like Batman into the rocket, not a lot of damage, but he has the stack to just go around the corner and take COOLLER out with the rocket.
It's looking dire for COOLLER at this point in time. Orb comes out, close the gap. Really nice play by Spart1e. Big split on the major items, and you got to ask yourself, what is the plan here, COOLLER? He's going to try and force the issue. Spart1e's not going to fall into that trap. Instead, just backs off, picks up an easy, heavy rocket jump up as well. Alpha play. Oh, but the execution just not working out.
Actually ends up giving the heavy because of it, and COOLLER now going in with an alpha play of his own. Gets that frag, catching Spart1e off guard and saying, all right, you want to play it this way, we can play it this way. Now he's going to set up a trap at the rail. Spart1e's waiting at the heavy. Vision popped. That's a free rail right there, and there's the dire orb to get out. Well played from Spart1e.
Really well played. Back-to-back rails, so that will open the door for this Mega. Jumps casually over the rocket.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
And now you can see COOLLER's got Mega and Light Armor on lockdown. That's going to be part of his repertoire moving forward. He's also in a perfect position to pressure this heavy, so takes the high ground route, the much safer option. Spart1e is trying to skedaddle out of there. A rail. COOLLER might even try and go around and cut him off just before he picks up the health, but instead favors taking away all resources. Poor Spart1e's working with nothing right now. Tough times.
Definitely tough and rough times for Spart1e. Is again, these rockets so close. COOLLER tracks him down and lands the rail, almost tying it up. One away now as he pops vision for the info, figuring out exactly what Spart1e's plan is off the spawn. And here's a little bit of LG trying to connect. There's the jump over. Spart1e doesn't want to get cratered off the map, but he's gonna dire orb in past COOLLER through the telly, but this should be a frag for COOLLER. And there it is, the shotgun to end it.
Yep, and he's got all 4 items on lock. Spart1e hasn't had a single item now for 2 minutes. It's really, really painful, but look at the damage he's doing. Once again, he's waiting for the light. He will get this now, but COOLLER will also know the timing on it. He's also got the timing on the heavy and the backroom light as well. So he works his way over to pick up this light just before the heavy, uses the piercing sight to track his opponent around the map, and will actually catch him at the jump pad, but not for an easy frag as that bounces him backwards to the frustration of the rush.
Good LG there. Spart1e still fighting. What a rail as he goes through the telly, keeping Spart1e low. But Spart1e's going to contest for this Mega. He's not afraid. He's going to be able to pick it up and actually do some damage. There's a dire orb, and he wants to end this right now, and COOLLER takes out COOLLER. The relentless pressure from Spart1e. COOLLER was not ready for it.
Yeah, Spart1e, that was almost identical in reverse to the way in which COOLLER got his frag. Perfect timing on the Mega from Spart1e, and then pushes in as COOLLER aims for a rail, so the wrong weapon choice. Spart1e now knows COOLLER's on the ropes as well, but is wary about taking too much damage. Nice drop down rail from COOLLER though to even up the stacks.
Clean Mega for COOLLER. Oh, never mind. Spart1e makes sure that he's there right on time to hit those cheeks on the way out as COOLLER's going to wait for this 50 shard and stacks about even here. Dire orb is back up for Spart1e with 4 minutes remaining. Still a 1 frag lead. COOLLER in a very dangerous position, but that rocket splash is actually going to win him out on the heavy, and that's a big one.
Oh no, Spart1e got a little bit greedy there. He orbs away, but the piston sights up. He knows exactly what's up, and again, another easy frag just before the Mega as well. And this could be painful as Spart1e's now out of position for the light. And COOLLER will re-begin the rotation we saw for that 2-minute period in the early game.
Cooler playing it slow now. Dire Orb again back up for Spart1e as Cooler hears him drop down to the heavy. Oh, big damage. There's a Dire Orb up again, and these rockets from Cooler, so pixel perfect.
Yeah,
beautiful.
So sweet.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Spart1e maybe could have got out there in time. Not too sure about the rocket jump up. And it does come back to haunt him this time, and Cooler picks up the light, will make his way over towards the rail. He knows exactly where Spart1e is, so he decides to double back. Piercing sight comes out as well, sets him up in a good position now to challenge for this.
Goodness.
How did that hit?
Oh, Spart1e, oh my lord. These rockets into the Dire Orb, aggressive play. Spart1e using that Dire Orb to close the gap and just get these frags 4-4. With just a little over 230 left. Cooler hits him with the Batman. Spart1e, I think he picked up the Mega. But he didn't. Cooler gets the drop, gets the rocket, gets the Mega, and everything has gone horribly wrong for Spart1e. Does have some resources to work with, but this was not in the game plan, Dan.
It wasn't, indeed. They're both making these alpha plays. Once again, Spart1e goes in, but only 50% of the time they're working out. This time's not one of them either.
5-4 now, 2 minutes in. And oh, Spart1e, the timing isn't there. Luckily, doesn't get floated. The bounce from Cooler. Kind of ruining the LG bead. It could have been a very long lightning ride for Spart1e. But instead, he lives to fight another day, only down 1 frag. Cooler bullying his way onto the heavy. A little bit of rocket damage as well. There's the rocket jump at the rail around the corner, making it look easy. Spart1e getting a lot of damage on his way out. Could this be the rail to plant him? And somehow gets even more damage. Spart1e making the most out of a horrific situation.
Yeah, he does somehow indeed. Cooler, though, still healthy himself, has, again, the piercing sight to maneuver around the map. Spart1e, though, coming aggressively through the TP, eats a rail. He's out of position for the heavy. Big rockets raining down on Cooler. He's had a little bit of traps here. How do you get out of here without taking damage is now what he's thinking. Double back and Spart1e eats a full one.
Surprise! Cooler goes up to jump pad, plants him, and he's able to get in there.
Did he just
but
ninja
the machine gun isn't gonna be enough. What is happening? He got 3 HP!
Oh boy. I don't know what just happened.
I don't know. But Cooler's very, very weak. Spart1e needs to try and catch him out. 40 seconds. Cooler's just going to take a knee and say, I'm going to waste as much time as possible before you inevitably get the kill. And even if you do, I should be fine to walk away with this one. So Cooler's probably going to put this map up, barring some sort of gigantic misplay. But the time is ticking, and I don't think Spart1e has the ability to even off the spawn to catch him. There's one frag,
my word.
Again, the time. It's just not enough, Dan.
No, wait!
Oh! Okay.
What is going on?
Dan, it might not be enough. I don't know. This is insane. Please, Cooler, don't do it.
Oh my god. I mean, he tried his absolute darndest to throw that.
I would have been furious that the one time I call it and say, it's over, then they're like, nah, it finally happened. I would have been so upset, but that's a personal problem. Cooler puts up map number 2, sending us to a third to decide the series. And it looks like the king is back. Still, to me, a little bit of a shaky performance. Maybe just Spart1e catching him off guard with the orbs is more of what it was. But, yeah, Cooler taking that map.
Yeah, much like we discussed with Baxter Rafa, okay, cheers, Spart1e, is that we saw Cooler get into that rhythm where Spart1e had nothing to work with, absolutely nothing. The only way to get back into the game is to take a risk, to be committal, to play fast, to get in your opponent's face, and that's exactly what he did. He's been definitely bullying Cooler in a lot of the fights. Cooler looked more stable in some of the combat that we saw on map 1. But those, yeah, as you said, the orbs coming out, the aggression, some of the great shots from Spart1e is what got him back into this game. But at the end of the day, it was a much just more controlled performance from Cooler than we saw on the first map.
Yeah, just that last clip there where Spart1e was walking the tightrope in the air, almost got thrown off the map. If Cooler would have dropped to that, I think it would have spiked his computer into the ground. I think he would have been furious. But it didn't happen.
Just tombstoned it.
Yeah, seriously. But 7-6, Cooler takes it. It wasn't the prettiest, but he got the job done, and now that gives birth to a third map to decide the series between these two. A close one, a nail-biter all the way through. But the third map is where it all comes down to. Nyx versus, I believe, Eisen on Awoken. Yep. That's going to be a big one. I mean, again, Nyx, it's interesting to see the Nyx pick. We don't see her a ton. Does have its merit on this map to control, you know, from rocket to mid-armor area. The invis is always great, but I feel like Eisen might get a little more utility with Timmy the turret for setting the traps and just, if anything, if nothing else, just gaining information on your opponent. So we'll see, but I'm sure Spart1e has something up his sleeve. As you said, he's heavy aiming, he's hitting his rails. If you hit a couple rails and you ghost walk aggressively, turns the tide.
Yeah, I'm a Nyx skeptic at the best of times. I think it's going to be a tough one for Spart1e. I just feel that Nyx pushes a lot more pressure onto your shoulders in order to execute perfectly throughout and to have a great strategy behind it. Any small mistakes can be exponentially punished against the Nyx due to the light stack and due to the vulnerability without the Ghost Walk up. Obviously, it's a huge fail-safe to have it at your disposal, but there's a lot of times where it's kind of delaying the inevitable just to pop the Ghost Walk to survive, and that's not how you want to be using it. And if you are, you're much on the back foot, and if Cooler gets ahead of steam as we saw cycles all the items, what can you do as a Nyx? So it is again going to come down to Spart1e playing a really good positional game, hitting those rails, and then following up. But it's hard against someone like Cooler who controls items so well.
We'll see if Cooler can have that level of control on map number 3. We're live. The predictions are coming in, and people are weighing towards Cooler on this one. It looks like 55 to 45%, but we're going to start off on Spart1e. It's going to start off on that Nyx. Again, this matchup may be in favor of Cooler here.
Spart1e, with all the weaponry to work with, so this is always the big challenge at the start of Awoken, is how do you work around the map to get the weapons you need to contest the first round of items. It looks like Cooler's just going to try and outbrain him here. Spart1e respecting that. Cooler doesn't even eat a rail, so nicely played by Cooler. Still doesn't have any weapons though, so has to be wary. Just spamming that Tribal, and the Nyx is there with the rocket. He knows exactly what he's got to do, but actually falls into a lightning gun, which is not what you want to do.
Getting so much damage after the fact and ends it with the rocket. Spart1e coming up big. The Ghost Walk hangs around. Cooler doesn't get out of there. Cornered himself, essentially. Spart1e takes advantage and gets the frag. Also, I'm loving the purple outfit, Cooler. Big fan.
Very Joker-esque.
Oh! Those rockets are no joke, though. Dan is almost taking out Spart1e here. Cooler just taking his time. Ooh, look at that fake rocket jump! Oh, it's just, it's a beauty. No. It's a beauty. Spart1e hits them with the triple E after the fake rocket jump, and Cooler has to be rolling his eyes right now. That one hurts.
That was a beautiful frag, but doing what we need him to do, hitting all your rails, 3 and 3. Aggressive Ghost Walk as well. Cooler did hear that, so he knows what's up. He actually baits him out. Doesn't drop for the heavy armor himself. Instead gets out of there with the stack. Wants to pressure this as well, but Spart1e is saying, nope. Cooler doesn't have anything to work with.
Cooler takes out Cooler. Oh, these pillars are the bane of his existence. Spart1e, 3 frag lead here. Cooler pushing in off the spawn with the shotgun, trying to get as much damage as he can. Needs to be careful though, because Spart1e still has a really good stack. He's a little bit too early onto this heavy, and I don't think he stole it, and he didn't, and that is heartbreaking.
That is really heartbreaking. Cooler sniffed an opportunity to get in there, and if he stole out of the way, it would have been huge, but he didn't. And so Spart1e very much on the ascent here. Turret comes out to delay, but is it going to be enough?
Wow.
It is.
Big kill there from Cooler. Keep him in the game. It could have gotten really bad after that one, but doesn't have rockets, but he should still be able to do some damage and defend in case Spart1e shows up for this. But the rockets, just as he saw a glimmer of it, they're gone. Spart1e takes him, and now he's fighting at the heavy. And this is very, very dangerous, but Cooler's still trying to make something happen, taking a big rocket and hanging in there, and again, cannot steal the heavy away before he perishes.
Oh, the Ghost Walk comes out the worst time, but he has to get away. Cooler guesses right, but Spart1e bounces him off. Still living on the edge there with just 2 health to work with. Cooler knows how low he is. Probably won't be able to catch him. As I say that, Spart1e just doesn't care. Has enough health to bully his way in.
Yeah, this is the Spart1e party. He runs the show here. Nails into LG. Cooler wants to end this. He drops down. The rockets are too strong for Spart1e in 5 HP. And
My
Cooler
word.
hits him with the smiley face because he knows that shotgun should have got him the frag. And Yeah, that's a hell of a way to drop. Spart1e just should have been dead to rights.
Story of the starting shotgun is a common theme of today.
It's a toy gun. It's not real. As the Ghost Walk could come out for an aggressive play here, but Spart1e thinks he can get it without it. There's the what? What a shot. And the read was there, but Cooler knew that he knew that he knew. So
Oh,
double,
no!
oh, why? The jump
It's
becomes
so
up short.
falling apart. Oh,
Not like
it's
this,
all...
Dan. Not like this.
Oh, GG's Spart1e.
There's not time? There's no time, Dan? Cooler trying to hit some air rockets. Spart1e up 8-0. Still has the Ghost Walk in his pocket if things go horribly wrong. But, I mean, things have gone horribly wrong. But for Cooler instead, he does get a heavy, but he goes up the jump pad into a lot of LG trying to hit these rockets. 44 HP from Spart1e. Still has the Ghost Walk if he wants to try and get a cheeky rocket straight into Ghost Walk pop. But now he's got 69 HP, and that's real nice. And so is the Mega, as he hits a rail around the corner. Good pre-aim there to make sure that Cooler doesn't get out for free, but Cooler hitting a good rocket, sending Spart1e packing, stacks about even. There's the rocket jump across to deny that middle armor as quick as he can, and look at that flick of the wrist. Almost hits him with the follow-up. Cooler has 25 HP, and this is just brutal, Dan.
It is a little bit. I'm enjoying the tempo that Spart1e's playing, and this is exactly how you have to play next on the offense. You can't let your opponent get ahead of steam, and Cooler looks a bit lost at this point in time. Spart1e's just stamping his authority, even taking away the small and light armors. And yeah, Cooler, the reason why I said GG is that jump onto the jump pad is just the tilt moment for anyone, even someone as experienced as Cooler. That's when you say, this is not my day. Have it, Spart1e. Just have it.
This is anything but a party for Cooler here. Spart1e has taken this to 11-0, swapping to the Rockets, wanting to add more damage as Cooler just trying to pin him with the LG, but he can't do it. The stack is too thick. Nick's too thick. Mega right after the fact as well, so the timing of these fights heavily in favor of Spart1e.
It's been quite the performance. Cooler's barely touched an item. 1 heavy, 6 megas.
That's just something you don't see every day with Cooler. That's almost unheard of. Should be able to get in on this heavy for relatively free, though. Spart1e says nope, nothing is free in the arena. It's a great rail through the telly. And again, these rails from Spart1e are nuts! 52% rail. Admittedly, Cooler's still hitting 50% on his own, but Spart1e has shot 26 rails in comparison to Cooler's 7.
He's already dead, man. Just leave him alone.
I'm just reading the facts, Dan. That's all I'm doing. Oh, does it end? Does it end? 3 more minutes of this, Dan, as Cooler trying to put a frag on the board, and Spart1e again denying any kind of momentum that Cooler could get going.
Yeah, the way in which Spart1e's prioritized, even taking with the lights, has been another key feature. You can't let your opponent get any sort of head of steam here, and it's been a very, very solid performance. Spart1e just seems to be getting better and better every single week.
You know, all I want to say is that I said it was a feeling, and I said Cooler or where Spart1e would take it to. I'm just saying, the feeling was real. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. I'm still going to the doctor just to be thorough, but I gotta take him when I can get him down. Ooh, the rail. Cooler needs to close in on this. Spart1e still, even though this is in the bag, he's still not giving it up easy, and that's what I love. Oh, Cooler hit him with a double rail, hit him with a 180 phase clan on that one. And there's the yoink into the Ghost Walk. Good rail from Cooler. Keeps him alive with the tickle. It's just too much. It's just too much. Well, if I know Spart1e, I'd want him, I'd imagine that he wants everybody, all of his fans, to raise their glass, whatever you're drinking, because this one is a big one for Spart1e. He's going to take down Cooler 2-1. as we get closer and closer to the stage 2 finals, this is where you want to heat up, and it looks like Spart1e's doing so. I mean, would you put this more of Cooler misplaying or Spart1e just playing out of his mind? A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, Dan?
Definitely a mixture of both, yeah. I mean, you can't deny Spart1e's played sensationally. And not for once, but you know, we always praise his aim. But like we said at the start, it's now at a level where it's more consistent. It's not just frag highlight moments. So the consistency has been there from start to finish, but it's the strategy. Like, definitely every single map, he had a solid idea of the game plan he wanted to do and how to counter Cooler. And it's been a joy to watch. I hope he can continue this level of development.
Absolutely. You love to see it. If you got him, wow, what a rocket from Cooler. If you got him, send the Spart1e power squats in the chat. I think that's an emote somewhere. Somebody has it, and it's wonderful to see. But as the time winds down, this set will be in the books 2-1 in favor of Spart1e. Just really, really well played. As you said, he had the game plan. He knew what he wanted to do to dismantle COOLLERZ playstyle, and it worked to perfection. Oh, Spart1e, you didn't have to do that to him. You didn't have to hit him with that one. Quite the performance from Spart1e. I mean, what do you say, Dan? What else is there to say that we haven't already said?
Doesn't feel like a 2-1 in hindsight. Doesn't feel like a 2-1. That felt like a 3-0 mauling the way that last map went. But
to be fair, the one that Cooler won was a nail biter, 7-6. I mean, it was really, really close. So it wasn't easy for Cooler by any stretch.
He tried his best to throw it at the very end as well, but was unable to.
Oh man, Cooler knows. He's cool, calm, collected, man. He's not too bad. He's what, 3-5 now? Probably puts him down to the 5th, 6th. I think he'll be okay.
Well, the EU scene is so tight that a 3-0 the other way could shift you 4 or 5 places. So we'll have to see at the end of the day where he actually lies. But yeah, he could be dropping to 7th or something like that now.
Yeah, it is still pretty hairy, but it looks like CNZ and Garpy are firmly planted at 9-10. So in terms of relegation, nothing to really worry about yet. But there are still 4 weeks of Quake Pro League, and if you keep dropping maps like that, you never know. It could get sketchy. Could get sketchy, Dan. But that one's in the books, folks. We did it. We're about, what, halfway through? We got 3 more setups left. DJ Wheat's going to be joining us a little bit later on as well. So we're going to go grab some drinks, snacks, fuel up. You should too. We'll be back with more Quake Pro League action. Stay with us.